now?" Beale eyed him with deceptive mildness. "You're a deputy of this county." "That's right, a live one," Ernie said. "I aim to stay alive, too." Beale stepped over to the desk and pulled out a lower drawer and rummaged in it. He was a somewhat ridiculous figure to a stranger, a fat and rotund and polite man in outsized pants, half boots that were run over at the heels, and a buttonless black vest over a too small calico shirt. But a careful man might consider this. Beale's hands were soft and uncalloused, which argued he had done no manual work in a long time, which argued he had been sheriff for a long time, which argued, since Yellow Jacket was a cattle county with a reasonably high homicide rate, that he and his office managed to take care of any trouble that came up. And since he seemed anything but a scrapper, a careful man might consider the deputy. He would have been right, too, for Ernie C. was the sheriff's office. Beale found what he was looking for and laid it on his desk and looked at his deputy. "Read it," he said. "I read it," Ernie said stubbornly. "Hell, I know it by heart. $7,000 alive or dead for Dave Coyle." Beale wheeled to face old Beatty. "You read it." "I got one in the post office," Beatty said sourly. "Well, divide it by 3 and see what each of us will make," Beale said. Old Beatty looked carefully at him and said, "Harv, I'm going to be sick tomorrow. Sick in bed. I'm already sick now." Beale looked from Beatty to Ernie and back to Beatty. "One of you on vacation and one of you sick," he murmured scornfully. "Where's all the men in this town?" "I know where they will be when you tell 'em," Ernie said. "They'll be out of town." "He ain't so tough," Beale countered. "If I was you, I'd whisper that," Ernie said dryly. "He's little. He's a runt," Beale said. "A stick of dynamite's only 8 inches high," Beatty said. "He's over 5 feet, and the same stuff." "But he's a kid, just a tough kid," Beale insisted. "You afraid of a kid?" Ernie said dryly, "Don't look at me. I didn't print that reward notice. It's the U.S. Commissioner that's afraid of him. Me? I just don't aim to bust up a 3-day fishing trip to meet him." Beale said grimly, "All right, Ernie. But make your trip longer than 3 days. Make it 3 months. Make it 3 years. Why not? Because you don't have to get back to work." "I'll get back to work," Ernie retorted. "I got a date here for September 2nd. "Not here." "No? I'll call at your house." Beale looked blank. "Why?" "That's where a funeral usually starts, ain't it?" Ernie said. He waved his hand at Sheriff Beale, grinned, and stepped out onto the walk. Beatty stared after him, and Beale said, "Wait a minute, Beatty. I'll go with you." "No, you won't," Beatty said. "I sleep in a single bed, and that's where I'm going." Sheriff Beale settled down into his chair and watched Beatty leave. He didn't feel exactly cheerful himself, and he looked around to see if the door was closed. There was a kind of hot and greedy urgency within him, but he knew this would take a little thinking out. As long as the letter, the bait, was in his possession, Dave Coyle couldn't get it. He put the letter in his pocket just to make sure, and then considered. Was it a fake? He didn't know, but it seemed as if Dave Coyle had told somebody he'd drop in at Yellow Jacket before September 1st to get his mail. That was the way Dave Coyle did things, like the time he'd gone into the governor's mansion the night of the inaugural ball and picked the blossom from a century plant of the governor's wife to wear in his buttonhole during the dance. He'd do anything that took gall, preferred to do it that way, and somehow this letter business seemed typical. Bill pictured $7,000 in gold. That was a lot of money. For $10 apiece, he could get 20 men to watch Beatty's store day and night, and when Dave Coyle called for his letter, it would be like shooting a clay pigeon. Sheriff Beale thought of something then. He remembered the return note.